I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this
is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey, y'all, what's up?
Hey, guys. No, I just change it up every time. Oh, that was a good.
Just popped the top.
Did it.
And we're here. This is a little bonus for you. Say bonus.
Bonus?
Bonus.
I like whenever you tell me what to say.
I like being bossy, and I think you like it too.
I do. I like it. I'm very intrigued.
So what this is, you've heard one already, and these are just going to be sporadic as we get them, is we're going to read you a crazy email from a fan.
Are you reading it or am I reading it?
Pull it up. I don't even have it.
Oh, well, you know I have it.
Do you need me to read it? I mean, I have it on my phone, but if you need me to read it. We'll see. We may need to rewind, and I might need to read it. So we're going to tell you like some art. Sometimes we get these articles on Instagram, or people send us stuff, and our jaw drops to the floor.
My jaw dropped when I read this.
So we're going to read you this email,
okay,
and we're going to go over a couple articles because I feel like our BHH fans, our Bloody Happy Hour fans, need to be in the know. And I feel like some of these will be future stories. Like these are the beginning of some of the stories. So read the email, Caroline.
Okay, so y'all, this subject line is, my grandma married a murderer who locked her in a basement.
Uh-oh.
Which is amazing. Okay, she says, hey, my fellow... When I read this first, I was like, my fellow Southern bellies. And then it said, my fellow Southern belles. So I'm special. When I was around 15 years old, my grandma got a new boyfriend. It was quite the family scandal. I can relate. But he was roughly 20 years her junior. He was in his 40s. My grandma was in her 60s. In 2001, we had family Thanksgiving at my grandma's, which is where I finally met the creepy new boyfriend. This guy's name was Mark. He was real thin. He had an unkempt gray beard, a hollow blue eyes. He didn't speak much, so we assumed he was some kind of meth head mooching off my grandma. Turned out we were sort of right. My mom's two sisters were suspicious of Mark and did some digging into his background.
Hey, they were DTF. Down to find
the murder. It came as no surprise that creepy Mark had warrants out for his arrests in Texas, Alabama, Louisiana, and Florida.
He liked his Southern bells.
Woo! We live in Southern Louisiana, so I'm assuming he thought he was hiding out in a swamp. But it's not actually as unassuming and concealing as TV makes it look. Eventually, Grandma and creepy Mark moved to Arkansas and purchased a small mountain cabin with Grandma's retirement money.
Oh, Grandma.
Fast forward to the juicy bits. In 2004, Grandma and creepy Mark came up missing. Missing! All caps, exclamation mark. The house they lived in was completely abandoned. None of their phone numbers were working. The car was gone. And no one seemed to have any idea where they had gone. In March 2004, there was a big shootout in the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas involving some fugitives and the police.
What?
That reminds me of the Ozarks, the show.
Yeah.
During the shootout, an Arkansas state police officer was shot, parentheses, I think he lived. And then it says the fugitives were, yep, you guessed it, creepy Mark and accomplice William Frazier. During the shootout, creepy Mark and William Frazier fled into the mountains with a woman named Anne Thornberry as their captee. They spent some time in the mountains camping around, hiding from the police, and doing whatever fleeing fugitives do in the mountains. In April of the same year, police finally found creepy Mark and kidnapped Anne walking along some isolated mountain road. William is nowhere to be found because he's already been arrested and has ratted Mark and Anne out to the police.
Oh my God.
Ratted, and she says, ratted Anne out, you ask? Question mark. The kidnapped victim? Yep. Anne was in fact not a victim at all. Oh my gosh, she is such good writing. What had actually happened is that William, Mark, and Anne had murdered Anne's husband, Ted Thornberry.
Oh.
It turns out that Mark and Anne had an affair, and Mark had killed Anne's husband, Ted, to cover it up.
Where's Grandma?
But there's more. After murdering him, they burned his body and then scattered the ash and bones in different places through the gravel road that led to their homes.
It's like they wanted to think about him every time they drove home.
So where was Grandma during all of this? Question mark.
Where you at, G-Mal?
I tell you now. Grandma was locked in the freaking basement. Creepy Mark and Anne had locked her in the basement so that Anne could assume my grandma's identity, parentheses, and continue cashing her retirement checks, of course.
Oh.
It also turns out that Mark was more than just my grandma's creepy boyfriend. He and Grandma had secretly gotten married at a Louisiana courthouse before they moved to Arkansas and went, quote, missing. Mark Holschenbach was convicted of capital murder, criminal attempt to commit capital murder, kidnapping, and felon in possession of firearm. He was sentenced to life without parole in November 2005. He is serving his sentence at a maximum security prison. William Frazier was convicted of attempting to commit capital murder, first-degree murder, kidnapping, and aggravated robbery. He was sentenced in May 2006 to 30 years in prison, and Thornberry was convicted of manslaughter, kidnapping, and hindering apprehension. She was sentenced to 28 years in prison in January 2007. As for Grandma, she was freed from the basement, got medical treatment, and she stayed in Arkansas. She lived for the rest of her years volunteering at a shelter for battered women. She passed away in March 2016. And the last part, if anyone is interested, there's an episode of Deadly Affairs called Burned by Desire that features Mark and Anne. My grandma's name and details are changed to make her seem younger and not an actual victim locked in a basement. And then Anne's sister is also gave an interview on episode 2 of season 25 of Snapped. Anywho, that's my story about creepy Mark becoming my murdering step grandpa. Love y'all, Tiff. Oh my gosh, Tiff, we love you.
We love you, Tiff. And
I'm blind.
I wish I had a murdering grandpa.
Tiff.
Not really, but not by blood. But
Tiff, I want you to know that I've gone cross-eyed from reading so much. I don't read that much, so I'm have to stop reading.
Hey, such a good story. Y'all should try to top that. So if you got something good, you need to email us.
I peed whenever I read it. I peed when I saw it. Everything was
and her seat is now wet.
I peed everywhere.
That was so good.
I don't think I can even read my article.
I wondered why they try to make the grandma seem not such a victim.
I don't know. Let's ask Tiff.
We'll see. Okay, can I tell you about this article that I saw?
Yes.
So this was in Florida. You know, crazy shit happens in Florida.
Well.
But I love me some Florida, but you just got to watch it when you're in Florida. So this guy named James Beck had this Kawasaki. This one's kind of sad. Kawasaki bike. And he put it on Craigslist to sell for $1,200. And so we do that all the time. This is really like a warning type article. Put it on Craigslist to sell.
Okay.
Well, he got some messages from a guy named Dante and a guy named Ramontre. And they wanted to buy this motorcycle. So they were like, let's meet. I want to buy the motorcycle. So James and his son went with the motorcycle and they were going to, trade it off. But James was smart. James was like, okay, well, give me the money first. I'm not going to give you the bike. So they gave him the money and he counted it and it was real short. Oh, remember his son sitting right there. And so James was like, I'm sorry, I'm asking for $1,200. Here's your money back. And they took out their gun and pointed it at James. Oh, that's so James, nice. Being a dad, is like, take off, son. Go back to the truck. And he says, I'm going to go. And he turns around and they shoot him several times in the back. And he actually dies from his injuries. What? And Ramontre drove off in the Kawasaki bike.
That's it? That's the story?
That is the story. The lesson is sell your stuff on social media. But make a trade in a police parking lot when there's people around. And you know what? If you have your kid, people don't give a shit.
Let me tell you.
It's like, let me take this kid and maybe they won't kill me. No, they still did. They don't give a shit. So be safe.
Hi, I'm Hank. You might remember me from a show called King of the Hill. Check out a King of the Hill rewatch podcast. These boys ain't right, but they are funny. Find the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts or at roguemedianetwork.com. I tell you what.
Let me tell you this one last story. Okay, this is bad. This is real bad. A 40-year-old Santa Barbara man was arrested this week. This is this week. This is right now.
Okay.
Whatever week this is we're recording.
At this time.
At the California-Mexico border. And he allegedly stabbed his 2 young children to death in a hotel room near Tijuana.
Oh, I saw that.
I sent it to you.
Oh, yeah.
According to the San Diego Union Tribune, Baja California prosecutors somebody announced that Matthew Taylor's arrest in a press conference Tuesday. So Taylor's full name was reportedly Matthew Taylor Coleman, and he owns the Lovewater Surf Company in Santa Barbara with his wife, Abby. So, I mean, this sounds like it's such a great family, right?
Yeah.
So the Santa Barbara Police Department announced earlier in the week that they took a missing persons report from August 8th from a woman saying her husband had her 2 kids and they had been missing for 24 hours. So the statement said that she was concerned for the well-being of her husband and 2 children. So the Santa Barbara police reportedly gathered evidence showing the husband and children had traveled to Mexico. So the Tribune reports said that in the press conference that Coleman, that his 1-year-old son and 3-year-old daughter allegedly checked into the City Express Hotel about an hour and a half south of Tijuana. On Monday, Coleman allegedly left the hotel around 3 a.m. with his children in the car. He reportedly returned to the City Express at 6:33 a.m., but his children were not with him. So according to the Tribune, police in Baja California reportedly received a call at 7:27 a.m. from a farm worker who found the bodies of 2 children in diapers who had been stabbed, the Tribune reports. Coleman was stopped at the border near San
something
point of entry and arrested.
Did he say why? I thought I read something like that he thought they were going to do something bad.
That was the blip. I didn't. There is an article that was just the blip.
Yeah.
So basically, this douchebag I don't know why
to be a father.
he apparently kidnapped his kids, and his wife was worried about it. And then he ended up like, oh my gosh, like, what do you need to kill a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old?
That's why I always like to hear what they think the reasoning is.
Well, this is why
This is probably going to be a follow-up story. I feel
I'm glad that I hate when they commit suicide, because I want to know what they were thinking, and I want them to suffer.
Yeah.
Like, don't just kill yourself. Like, you need to talk about it, and you need to face all the consequences.
All the consequences.
I'm done.
She got
I'm done
real stressed
with
out.
everything about it.
Okay, so I'm just going to end with this fun one that's a little bit funny. It's a little bit funny because nobody really got hurt.
Stuck in that?
Are you ready?
No, I'm stuck everywhere. I'm stuck. I'm getting choked by my cord.
Well, you put a shirt on over your cord. Okay, hold on. Last one, because Caroline's done. Her attention span. That's
My
about
attention span is out of the. What?
It's done. But listen, this one. Listen, this is about McDonald's restaurant, and I hate McDonald's. To me, there's one reason to go to McDonald's, and that's if you want one of those cones, like a vanilla cone.
Every time you go there for a cone, their freaking machines
don't
broken.
work, right? So what's the point of ever going to McDonald's? Because they never had their shit right. Well,
Listen,
this guy from
I'm
Iowa.
about to go to Whataburger right now.
Hold on. This guy from, not yet. Can you wait?
Nope.
Okay. This guy from Iowa got arrested because
He was stupid. He was being stupid. He was trying to go.
Hold on, listen.
Okay.
He did his order at McDonald's.
Oh, he got real pissed.
And he ordered some McNuggets.
Oh, hell. They gave
When
him the
he
dark
got
meat.
home and he opened his bag, his McNugget sauce was not in his bag.
Oh, no.
So he called McDonald's.
Security.
Security. And he talked bad to everybody.
Oh, no.
And he called in a bomb threat. He threatened to blow the mofo up. So he got arrested. His charges are 2nd-degree harassment, and it's a misdemeanor. So he's in jail, Polk County in Iowa. So guess what? Guess what, McDonald's? Get your shit together, or you might get a bomb threat.
Listen, all you have to do is give people the sauce.
He just wanted his barbecue sauce.
Listen, I understand. I want that barbecue sauce.
He wanted his barbecue sauce. Okay, y'all, that was just a quick little quickie for you. We'll give you these every once in a while.
I was trying to find the meme that says security.
Oh.
No, I didn't.
Well, we'll give you these every once in a while.
She done.
This is it. Yeah. This
Rate,
is it.
review, and subscribe.
We will see y'all on Thursday.
Don't forget to be aware.
Stay aware.
Stay aware.
Stay alive.
And always be F.
She pulled her inner Janet Jackson. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hey, I'm Zach,
And I'm Mike.
and we have a fantastic new podcast to tell you about. Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's the two of us looking into the world of comics, breaking down some characters that you may have never heard of, and some that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Zach comes up with a character each time, and I go into it just completely blind. I don't know who this person is or what their abilities are or anything. And basically, I guess we kind of go over their origin story and just some of the ridiculous stuff that maybe, especially Golden Age stuff.
Oh, Golden Age stuff is always the best, and we will make sure to highlight all of the shenanigans and just absolute weirdness of everything.
Yeah, that's right. So subscribe today and follow us on Instagram at Bros Foes Heroes.
And if you don't, I know where you live. Not really, but please subscribe.
Bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hi, I'm Hank. You might remember me from a show called King of the Hill. Check out a King of the Hill rewatch podcast. These boys ain't rap, but they are funny. Find the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts or at roguemedianetwork.com. I tell you what.